Okay, we're going to go ahead and make our pot de choux today. We'll start by, essentially what we do is we make a roux. So I'm going to add my water, my salt, and my butter all on the stove top here. And let this come to a boil. Once I get to a boil, then I'm going to add my flour, and I'm going to continue stirring until this has a chance to start pulling away from the sides. You'll see it start to ball up in the center a little bit. Clair paste or pot de choux is used for a variety of different pastries. So it's used both in savory applications and sweet applications. We make cream puffs filled with vanilla pastry cream and dipped in ganache as a classic eclair, or we can use them and fill them with chicken salad and serve them on our buffet lines as a nice savory item. Okay, so I'll bring my water to a boil first. I'm going to go ahead and add all my flour. Turn down the heat a little bit. Stir this in, and this is essentially just like making a roux. The way I remember how to make pot de choux is I say pot de choux, make a roux. So I'm going to stir this until it pulls away from the sides. As you see, you really want to make sure that all that flour is incorporated in, so get rid of any pockets of flour that you might see. Okay. You can see it's starting to ball up into one ball here. Now I'm going to go ahead and move this over. One little pocket of flour left there. I'm going to move this over to a mixing bowl. We're going to get it into the mixing bowl, and I'm going to use my paddle attachment. We're going to allow this to mix for a minute or two, and our goal here is to allow this to cool down. We want to get it down to about 140 degrees. So it can be a medium-high speed to allow some of the steam to come off. A good way to kind of gauge how hot this is just to put your hand on the bottom of the bowl and feel it. I can tell you it's pretty hot right now. Allow that to cool down a little bit. Probably looking at about a minute of time here of mixing, 2 minutes maybe. Now today we're going to be forming them just into our classic cream puffs. I'm going to use a portion scoop. You could use a small, like a number 60 portion scoop if you wanted really small cream puffs. These are a little bit larger. This would be something that I would do for a buffet line, either again for my sweet or savory application. The challenge here is to know how many eggs to go in. So your recipe will have a range. For this particular recipe, it was 4 to 5 eggs. And we're going to allow each one of these to incorporate after each addition. So the bowl's starting to cool down for me a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and start adding these eggs. Again, we go one at a time. It's going to look a little broken to you as you start, but just wait for these to start to incorporate. And then you can go with your next egg. This is something that just takes a little bit of experience to watch and recognize when the batter is too runny or when it's too thick. I want to have it slightly runny, so that allows for these cream puffs to really expand once we start baking them. When we do start baking, we always start with a high temperature oven. So I'm going to start them at 425 degrees for 10 minutes. That allows for that oven spring to happen, where you start to get them to increase in volume. The idea is that you want a really hollow and very firm cream puff. You can see the batter's nice and smooth for us. I could also put this in a pastry bag, and I can pipe out a variety of different shapes. The eclair is one common shape that you can see piped out, a Paris Bresse, or even we can also do swans with these. So it's a variety of options for forming our dough. Allow for a little space in between each of your cream puffs. Get 9 of them here. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get just a little bit of water on my fingertip. And I'm going to smooth these out just a little bit. Okay, so the water will help create a little bit of crust, but we can also just make these look a little bit nicer by taking any of these areas that are kind of sticking up and smoothing them down with just a little bit of water over the top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in a 425 degree oven. We will then bake them for 10 minutes at 425, and then I'm going to lower the oven temperature to 350 and allow them to bake for another probably 20 minutes. I really want them to be golden brown, and the other goal is to really have a nice, firm, crispy exterior to these. So we're going to fill them with a pastry cream, so you've got the soft texture on the inside, and you want a little bit of crunch on the outside. So we'll show you what the finished product looks like after